That's weird. This is the one we came through, so you actually go through that for a left exit. If we look on the map, that's moving us into the left door. That big boy. Oof. That's interesting, Bonfire. Yeah, without knowing the games, I can't really offer anything. Just sad that you're not feeling it. I really struggled with the start of Dragon Age Inquisition because it felt so different from the previous two. And I just sort of stuck it out, and I was glad I did. In saying that, I still haven't finished it, but... Oh. So we can go up from there, and hopefully we've opened the one above it as well, but I'll have a little bit of a look around the side. The funny thing is, with the issue I had with Inquisition, the combat's pretty bad. Okay? And I remember someone, I was telling someone that I know loved the entire Dragon Age series. And they're like, oh, it's a shame. And I said, I'm going to just keep going back to it because I think it'll, not that it'll rub off on me because it doesn't need to. It's just a different game style than Origins. Like Origins, it's funny, I remember a few times in Origins, let's sidetrack, where I was playing from top-down perspective, or the highest up camera as possible, and quite a lot of people that came through and were watching the playthrough were like, put the camera down in the other spot, like bring the camera down into third-person view, and I'd be like, no, and they're like, it's much better, which is obviously an opinion, but my response was, well, it's not better for seeing where the whole team is and being able to tactically move people around. And they're like, yeah, but you're playing it like this and the combat looks bad. And then I sort of thought, oh no, it's how I like playing. It's a CRPG I want to play. And I didn't think much of it. And it wasn't until after I got into Inquisition I realized, because then when I was telling Kate that I wasn't digging the combat, Royal Aegis Crest, increase max HP. We might put that on somewhere. And someone actively called me out. They said, you thought the combat in Origins was better, you must have eaten screws or something, which I thought was quite rude. But what it is that the combat in Origins makes the gameplay much more, the classic RPG style computer game. Where you're looking down at your team and you're giving them the, as if you're playing like Neverwinter Nights or Baldur's Gate or any other Dungeons and Dragons type CRPG, right? It's enough of you, Crow. Whereas Inquisition is, even though you can play. It's really hard to pull up into that tactics view, but that third person, I guess, gives people that more, Skyrim, or I know Skyrim's first person, but or any other game that puts you in that third person, cast some spells and do some things. So if you're looking for that experience, I could see why someone would say the Inquisition combat's better. But it detracted a lot for me, from the game that it was, or what it had been, I should say, which was what Origins was. So if we were saying which game had the better, more action-oriented, I'd even say single player, because if you're gonna if you're playing Inquisition based on the action. Oh, is he doing a spell? Oh, nice. Hey Valkyrie, how you doing? And that's what I found, was when you're just playing, especially Inquisition, I quite often just play my character's role and don't swap out to the other characters. I just let them do their stuff. Ooh, rude. So I guess I'm saying, yeah. However, I still it was this weird disappointment with Inquisition for me, because it wasn't another. It didn't have that CRPG feel that Origins had, and they still, even though 2 felt more actiony, it still had that. Set up the. I want to go this way. Set up team tactics and play it more. With more of a strategic plan rather than just, run around casting whatever spell and just being very, not quite slashy, but along those lines. Whoa! Ooh, love. And it wasn't until, I started appreciating it for the game that it was, not the game that I thought it was going to be. I was quite happy. Now I'm quite happily able to just play through it. And you want a similar thing to happen, but it's a forced game over if you're too slow. Oh, I see. So it's like that's a real major change. When you say poorly implemented like Sekiro, it's like Sekiro except poorly implemented? Or did you find Sekiro's one poorly implemented? King of the First Age's Diary. The ancients have put up a fierce fight, although our army outnumbers their own. They command a force of immortal warriors born of some ancient art. These deathless ones who have already forfeit their mortal coils cannot be killed. It seems they can only be contained through magical means. 10 days have passed since this battle began. There is no end in sight. Sekiro did it well, this game is not. I mean, Sekiro's a fair bit newer, right? Additional relic slots, nice. I do not foresee our arrival on this new continent being welcomed warmly with open arms. There is sure to be much bloodshed, and though I am prepared to do what I must for my people, I cannot stop trembling, or keep a record of what follows. I must never forget the battle that is to come. Valcrax, good morning. Thanks so much for the 18 months. How's your weekend going, dude? Ended a tough mission in I'm reading that as GTFO, which I'm assuming it is. But for some reason I want to say Grand Theft Auto Online. But that's definitely not what those initials are. There's something over there I need to get to. It is GTFO? Okay, I think I've seen some stuff about it, but I don't know anything about it. Oh, there was a thing here I could have gotten to. I didn't know it was there. I don't know if I want to chase that way yet. I've got everything in this room, so there's no need to go that way. Four-player horror shoot 'em a thingamajig. You like it, but it's evil. It's kind of where you can wipe 2 hours of work of chaos mistake. Oh man. Who are you? You're probably not a friend. Up? Oh, convenient. Oh, we can't go up. You love it, but acknowledge its niche. Sometimes niche games are the best. Yeah, it does. This really does have this nice Metroid. It's got a Soulsy feel, but the only thing I think it's missing is actually the souls. And without that, the only penalty of progression is the respawning of all the enemies, which for some people is punishment enough, but I think it just, I don't know. Whoa. Oh, it wasn't death, that was we dropped down a level. Which has happened a couple times, and I think that I actually like that as a thing better than a death penalty. You're now stuck down further where you might not want to be. I like it though, I've been having a lot of fun. And I don't know. I think one of the things I really just should convince myself to do is to play more of the games that I really, truly enjoy instead of trying to play games that I think will bring other people to the channel. Because after all, most of them, not everyone, because there's a lot of those games that other people that like these games like as well. But I think if I meet people through playing the games that I always want to play and I'm always happy to play, then they're the ones that are going to be here when I play them. Plus, we all know, people that like the same games as me are clearly the coolest people, right? Also, what are you thinking of Control? I was going to play that ages ago, except we got that 1 year jail time with it. And then when it came out, it was like, And then it went on sale, and I was like, maybe. And then I got it in Humble, and I'm like, okay, well now I can definitely play it. It's pretty cool. I'm down for pretty cool. I find a lot of that with games too, that, and this is similar to what we were talking about earlier with when games don't meet your own expectations because they're like a sequel or part of a trilogy or part of another series. But also overhype of game can really make you think a lot less of a game that doesn't deserve to be thought less of. I'm not saying that's the case with Control, but it's definitely something that happens with games, right? And sometimes it's kind of the game's fault, like especially if you keep waiting and waiting and waiting for a game and they keep hyping and hyping it, and then it comes out and you're like, yeah, it's all right. Yeah, I guess the other thing that comes out with that is when people talk about games and how certain things will make you feel or blow your mind or the way games are done, a lot of that also comes down to gaming experience. And there's a lot more people gaming these days. And I find that for a lot of us that have been playing, like seriously playing games for a long time, those moments that people are like, oh, this game was amazing, it was super great, did this and that. We play it and we're like, yeah, it was a cool game, really good. But don't feel a lot of those. Yeah, plus stuff could happen. Additional relic. We've been ramping up the relic slots, which is good. Well, that leads us up to there. I'm just going to quickly sneak a peek. Nice. Okay, this is... Yeah, let's do this. We've got 3 relic slots. So what do we not got on? We can increase max hit points by... what are we on? Max hit points, 265. That's a decent chunk. That's 26 hit points. Extra attack. Water attack. I want that one. No. 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 I'm going to keep that one on. That'll help us push to 100. Alright, well, we've got 1 left. Do I have a 1 spot available? I don't need the water one. Okay, let's just leave it. There's a lot of cool stuff, and the game seems to run on dream logic, which on its own is really cool to see what it does with. Okay. Dream logic, hey? I wonder if that's boss. I don't know if I want to fight boss. I want to explore more. I don't think it is boss. I think boss is up there. We've got quite a few of these 2D Metroid Soulsvania. At some point, they're just going to have to be called Hollow Knight clones. I think that's just easier than putting all the adjectives in place. And we're going to retroactively call Metroid and Castlevania a Hollow Knight clone. Have you not played Hollow Knight? Oh my god, that's got to go to the top of the list. Oh, seriously, like, Hollow Knight... oh, man. Just the gamer feels for that. Dude, it is... Like, you'll understand when you play it. Like, aside from the fact that they put out 4 free DLCs with it, I've played it a ton. I've got a lot of plays that I didn't finish because I just wanted to play and do stuff with it and attempt some of the bosses that I couldn't do, you know, when I was struggling on some bosses. And then I played through again. I did a full playthrough again after the second DLC came out. And I haven't gone back because the DLC sprinkled through the game, and I didn't. Even though you can play after completion and do other stuff, I didn't want to do that and just go around and find the new DLC and cherry pick it. One, because it's boring and it's such a big world, right? So having to go through and find the stuff that's been sort of scattered through, I didn't want to do that. So the other way to do it is use a guide just to find those bits, but it's still, you know, 9 out of 10 would be 10 out of 10 if you watch it. Yeah, I'll be doing a playthrough of all the stuff. Oh, come on! Oh. Before Silk Song comes out. They're making a sequel, so I'll be all over that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the next time I'm going to stream the next one with a full playthrough. There we go. Yeah, the DLCs themselves aren't like there's a good amount of content, and they had a bit of time, but yeah, just the way that it's sort of sprinkled through is really, I don't know, makes it fit a bit better in the world, I think. Oh, Pathologic's the ones that always pique my interest. Like, you know how you've got your game list? Like, we've all got our game list, right? And Pathologic's one I always see, and I kind of want to, but it just never gets above whatever the threshold is to be like, yeah, let's play it. I can't, yeah. I can't do that, though. Like, it's just me. If there's an original, I have to play it. Like, I want to see that. Where did the game come from and what was it like? So I'm okay. I accept it when the originals are that old that you can't get them. Or you can't get them to run on a machine. That's when I'm like, okay, well, that's not going to stop me from playing the newer one. Yeah, the games list that's a million miles long. Yep. Blight Wreath Blade, increase the amount of blight experience acquired. Oh, well, we're definitely going to want to ramp up our experience, because then once we top out at 100, we can get rid of both of the experience relics and just not be inexperienced, I guess. What do we got? Yeah, I know that I've got 3 more of these I'm keeping my eye on. At the end of the month, what's it called? I think it's called Endless Souls. It's the one that I feel bad because I keep forgetting what it's called. And then on the 2nd of next month, there's Grime. There's a game currently that I think it's about to hit 4 times its Kickstarter requirement, Crow Sworn, and it looks super hot. HP is good. Oh. Nope. Stay up here. Did you do a Wrath of the Righteous campaign? Or just Pathfinder in general? Oh, okay, cool. That'd be really cool. Did you play Kingmaker? I got through Act 1, and then that's when I sort of I went back to playing Slay the Spire because my channel had gone from somewhat mediumly popular to the way it is now. Except I didn't want that. Whereas now I'd rather just be happy playing games. I should probably pick that up again. I enjoyed it. Your friends and I have watched it. Seemed very much a passion project. They're like $5 to work with. Are you talking about like Kingmaker being the one they didn't have much to go with? 'Cause it was pretty good. Wow, I didn't know that. There was, and it's a harsh critique, but I stand by it. It felt like there's a lot of things in the game that made it feel you needed to save Scum in Act 1. In fact, especially if you're, and this is where, and some people will have a different opinion, and that's totally fine. But before the first boss, there's 2 points of entry to sneak into his camp and sabotage his side. And if you fail both of those and just have to full-on fight his team, on some of the difficulty levels, you are just going to lose. And I hate it because it sounds like sour grapes, because that's what happened to me. And I wasn't even playing on a very high difficulty. I'd knocked it down a bit because I wasn't familiar with the Pathfinder rule set and what you needed for like leveling up a character and what sort of stats to go for, and things. So I was playing fairly conservatively, but still on I wasn't playing on beginner, normal, or story mode. And people were basically saying, look, you're going to have to go through on story mode, or not story mode, you're going to have to lower the difficulty to get through. And they explained why at this point. And I thought, oh, well, the other option is I can go back to the points where I'd missed the roll check and re-roll it, which is like as safe scummy as you can get, right? And I did at that after that, which is what we did. We went back. I had a manual save that was about an hour before that point, so I just had to replay the hour and get up to the point. And I failed the checks again. One of them was like a 50-50, and one of them was a fairly decent roll. But I put in a manual save before doing the check, so like I was across the dirt path from I think there's like a little moat, a small moat maybe around the Waterless, in front of that front door. I couldn't get the check at the front door, but I was able to sneak in over the broken part of the fence and convince one of his dudes that I was holy or doing the righteous thing. I can't remember the exact details. And the thing is, like, not everything's supposed to go perfect in a tabletop campaign. A good tabletop rolling format would be Disco Elysium, because rolling and failing doesn't make the game impossible format, just because there is so much. Yeah. Plus, in that game, the difference is, though, that, like, Disco Elysium was all in the writing. I would hesitate that it was even struggled to make the minimum to be RPG light. Okay. And I don't want to detract away from the product, because I thought it was a phenomenal piece of entertainment. But I can only very barely call it a game. More than a choose-your-own-adventure book that's read to you that uses some dice rolls. In saying that, I had a phenomenal time having it read to me and playing through it. And I can't wait to see if they do something else. Like, I really hope that they do something else, because I'll be, you know, like most of the people that did experience Disco Elysium, I'll be ready to get their next product to see what it's all about. Die here. Maybe not. Yeah, they did do a director's cut. Or not for, I don't know about Planet Torment, but Disco Elysium did. Apparently they had a lot of stuff that they just couldn't afford or time-wise to get into the release, and they didn't want their product ending up like as it was, so they did a final cut that included more voice acting and some extra systems and things. But definitely the way they did roles, basically, if you failed a roll, you had to put a stat point into that roll, into that category that you're rolling off against, and it would unlock it. Except now you had an extra point, so you've got a better chance of passing the roll. Right? Or you could choose to accept the failure. So there were some things on my playthrough that when I failed the roll, I accepted it, because I'm like, I'm not going to take we role played it, we didn't video game it. And even if I video gamed it, I had a character that was lined up a certain direction. So taking points in stats, the reason I failed that roll is my character had 0 points in that stat. And whether it was a hard roll or a medium roll or an easy roll, there was no way I was putting a point in my character in a stat that had 0 points just so I could metagame and make a roll for something that might have even been meaningless. The only thing that I would negatively say about Disco Elysium is that there was, at some point of the game, a roll you had to make to continue story. And if you didn't, so you now had to put points into a stat if you failed it, and you couldn't work out what else you needed to do, and have someone tell you or look it up. You now had to put a point in that stat so you could re-roll it. There was only one point of the game that did that. There's another point of the game that you kind of really wanted to, but you didn't have to. But there was one particular roll that, yeah, if you failed that, that was it. That was a singular point where the story is not going to progress until you re-roll this. And you can fail it a second time, and you have to then put another point into that stat to open up the roll again. And if you fail it a third time, the story steps in and continues anyway for you. Right, which is a cool resolution, that the story steps in if you failed, but you had to fail the third time, and a circumstance had to exist. You could actually brick your game at that point. But I think that was just... stuff like that happens actually, stuff like that happens a lot more these days than it used to. but it's a byproduct of having people outside the game design field, you know, that are very creative, having the ability to make games now. And I'd gladly take that over just having, you know, because we get so many more games now because of that. I don't know because I didn't be in that position, but I could see what could happen. You could, if you can level up again, because you get a point every time you level up, you could put another point in that stat and maybe you get to roll a 4th time or a 5th time. But at some point, the way the game is, you could run out of levels to get, and you can't get another point into it. It was a really weird situation, and it did feel bad at the time playing, because the whole game had been build your character the way you want, and you'll have different, like if you build a really smart character, they'll get different stuff and different options at certain scenarios. And if you build a real brawny character, they'll have different capabilities and different options you can roll for. Some that'll just show up, and they had this really cool system where your character would just sense things by passing a check that you didn't even see was being rolled on unless you passed it. And it would be related to how you built. So the really perceptive character might perceive something. You'd just be walking along and they'd perceive something. And that could, you know, it'd be something really minor, but it could, you know, trigger a little bit of story or some information. And the really strong character could just be like, oh, I'll just use my brute force to do this. Whereas you just never got given that option if the character wasn't built to think that they could do that in the first place. It was kind of like the equivalent of a dungeon master doing a secret role and then only telling you about it if you passed. Yeah, it was very well written. And some of the mechanics were like really contributed to the overall feel of how you were playing through. And the fact that it was fully voice acted was freaking amazing, because like I know a lot of streamers were struggling to after a couple of days of playing it when it first released with a lot less voice acting. They had this other mechanic that was really cool, but with a bit of knowledge, I wish I'd played it via wiki for that one mechanic. Yeah, totally get that, man. Because it's heaps different. You know, it's heaps different when you're just talking like this. You can talk back and forth. It feels more natural. And I think you also, you know, how your saliva in the back of your throat just happens. But when you're reading and constantly reading, it sort of changes the pace you talk at. Why was I chosen by the king? Is it because I was the first white priestess born among my sisters? I wonder if my other siblings are still down below. All I can do is tidy up the room Mother used to occupy. Be ready for her when she returns. More prayer restoration. I think also that when you're just talking like this, we're just talking, right? I'll break to read what someone else has written. I'll think about what I'm going to say. But especially in narrative-driven games, like You get a dialogue scene and it is just non-stop stuff. Okay, that's a big dude. Might leave big dude for a while. That might even be a boss dude. Do I want to rest? Where are we? We're over here. Well, that feels like it could be boss dude. I want to get more things first. And I've got 2, so I'm not going to rest. I don't want to resummon. There's a thing. Okay, so there's something in there, so I can't get that yet. Conversation's a core mechanic, not the thing. I've seen the Planetscape. I think I don't know which one's the base one, but something got shown to me during the Steam sale, and I clicked on it, and it had a bundle, and then I clicked on that, and it had all these DLCs. Like the bundle price was pretty high, and I'm like, whoa, looks like something you could sink your teeth in. Oh, okay. It might be something else with a similar name then. Or maybe I was just showing them at the same time. Get it? Oh, if it was RPG bundles, maybe. Right, now we are low and I will have to rest. Oh, don't die here though. Oh, don't die here. Dies. Although, there's no death penalty, and now we can just fast travel to where I was going to go anyway. Which was here. Okay, cool. When you accidentally get taken to the spot you want to be at. In order to defend the Twin Spires, we Knights of the Bastion took the odd elixir and became immortal today. I would much prefer if we didn't have to rely on forbidden magics. But even if it means making ourselves undead, we must protect our great nation. Even when stained with the blight, a knight must never lose pride in their duty. Now, there's something else here. Where is it? Uh-huh. Wow, there's no indent there either. Sneaky. Decayed Crown. A crown of highest royalty worn by the Knights of Land's Ends, having lost its former glory. The decayed crown was forsaken someplace far from the castle. And his enemies will be more easily stunned. Oh, that's That is something I want to equip straight away. Yeah, increased stagger meter is... Especially on some of these guys, it would be good to have had some staggered, if we can fit it in. Is it a one spot? Please be a one spot. Where is it? Three slots. I can go. I'll drop down to that one and see if I can get the things, and then I think it looks like we're going to be pretty close to fighting a boss. That's not a boss. It's the little mini dude. Get purified. It is most gracious, Lily. Summons the spirit of Castletown Maiden, who strikes enemies as she finds on the ground with melee attacks. The maiden was tending to her dog when the rain came. The dog nuzzled up against her body in the rain, never again to leave her side. Oh, I can't get it. I've got to get through the thing. Poop. It was the bestest of good doggos. There's a thing down there. How do I get it? Get stunned. Get over there. Max HP. Seems I'm killing them before I can stun them. I'm okay with this. I feel like the music's just a little bit too calming. Last time I was playing, someone mentioned that they were going to go to bed because the music was making them sleepy. That's a thing. Oh, there's a bench here. Report from a Verboten Mage. We have learned that under certain conditions, the regenerative rot in the bodies of the Blighted is capable of fusing multiple life forms into one entity. I'm curious as to what becomes of multiple souls within the fused body. Do the souls merge as well? With this, it may very well be possible to create a soldier that can fly like a bird. The possibilities are endless. Where is the missing item? Have we got a date on the new Metroid? October 8th. Okay. I wonder if I can get old school Metroids hooked up. It is October 8th? Okay. Super Metroid's one of the games you have to replay every now and then. Okay, where's the thing? Samus Aran, yeah. But what if Samus was a girl? There it is. It's really funny because those of us that are old, we remember Metroid and Castlevania, and we understand why we have Castlevanias now. Metroidvanias, sorry. But almost every time that one comes out and it gets reviewed, there's someone that's like, this is more like Castlevania than it is Metroid. Hey Jolie, how you doing? It's like, not the original. But the original Castlevania was not a Metroidvania. It was Castlevania. The original Metroid was probably closer to a Metroidvania than either of them. Very close to it. But it just didn't, it was just not quite, right? But sure, the modern Castlevanias, you know, are a textbook Metroidvania, but they only evolved into that because of Metroid. Or when I say modern, the most recent-ish, I guess. Yeah, Symphony of the Night, for example. Man, the amount of hours I put into the Game Boy Castlevania. Oh, man. A really good friend of mine when I was a little kid. Whenever I had to go, we'd go on car trips to, you know, visit family that were hours away or whatnot. I think this is a horizontal wall. He would always let me borrow his Game Boy for the car trips. And that's all I would play would just be Castlevania. Nice scrub. The old yellow and black screen. I'm just checking that this is... I think this is a pustulant wall that I can't get through. For the item. I don't know where the one in the middle is, though. Oh, it's there. Okay, how do I get up to that? Other than Ender Lilies and Hollow Knight, any other Metroidvanias I recommend? Salt and Sanctuary. Very high on the list. They're releasing a sequel at some point too. They put a trailer out for it. Salt and Suffering, I think they're calling that one. TR Tomb Raider on the Game Boy? What else would I play? Vigil, The Longest Night was good, but not at the top of the list. I want to play the Guacameles. You're welcome. It is really good. Like, it's Souls mechanic. Yeah, so I want SteamWorld Dig 2, yep. That's on my list. Yeah, every time someone else mentions Guacamelee, I'm like, oh man, I really got to play this, and I own it, so why am I not playing it? There's one for a bit of fun that I want to play, which is, I think it's Toki Tori 2, I think it's something like that. Oh, Ori. Now, where I haven't... yeah, I know, this is a shock. I haven't played Ori, either of them. So I don't know where I'd put them in my list if we were measuring up. I think you drop down from there. So I think if we go down to the door, I can teleport up. The Curse of a Huge Game Library, limited time, yeah, and Steam sales. Like, that's the problem, is Steam sales, right? But no, so anyone that likes the 2D platformy / Metroidvania, add some sort of Souls mechanic, anything in there like that at all. If you haven't played Hollow Knight, like, that is it's almost drop everything and play it. Managed to get a reservation for Steam Deck games yesterday. So I haven't done any looking into it. I saw a thumbnail of someone holding a Steam Deck. I went, oh, it looks like an oversized Switch. Are they having any, like... Are there any games being made specifically for it? Is there any reason to be going nuts over it? Oh, I actually wanted to put that on. I wanted the extra experience. It's just a portable PC kind of thing, completely unlocked with some decent specs. Comes with Steam, operating system, Proton. You might put Windows on it if you want. You probably could, but I don't know. I'd probably just be happy just having it to play Steam games, right? Although it'd make more sense for someone like me, because I don't have a phone, to be able to then go ahead and put you know, have windows on it. Let's go this way. I'm gonna have a quick look at these 3 rooms and then we'll boss. You can dock it and... Hey Wagner, how you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you've been well, man. Oh. Oh, sneaky. Have you got a desk yet, Wagner? You do? Nice. Alright, how am I gonna... Whoa. Been streaming Skyward Sword HD? Nice. Oh, that's good, man. Okay, I don't want to go through there. I want to find the items. Guy's kind of weird sitting over here. Oh. Probably could have just gone around him. But stubborn, wanted bloodthirsty, needed kill. Alright, there's a something there somewhere and I have no idea. I'm loving it, man. Having a lot of fun. It's really well put together. It feels good. I think that's the other thing too. There's been a lot of games that attempt to do stuff like this that just don't feel good, and that, I think, obviously there's a lot of other things that you have to put together, but it's got to just have, it's got to play nice, you know? Oh, it was in there. Okay, that's where the item is. Alright, we can't get this one. For me personally, I love the fact that, like, you can see there's blue and orange squares on the minimap. Orange ones means you've gotten all the items, or any secrets and stuff. Blue means keep exploring, you know, and I like that. Pretty sure we couldn't get this one as well. Get staggered. There we go. There it is. Nice. Oh, it's an archer. Oh. Okay. I tried to be cheeky there and you almost got punished. You're gonna get punished! Like, what are we supposed to do? No. Yeah, like a really small room. Well, Master Khan, Monka steered on your way. How you doing, dude? Yeah, having a blast. All right, I think we bossed. We found enough of the stuff. I'm pretty sure this is big bad boss dude. He looks pretty beefy. My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, father of... Oh, that delayed swing. I almost ran in there. Reckon he'll have another phase? Oh. I stood there to heal, and he's like, hey, you gonna stand there? Noob. You know you can beat the first boss of Sultan Sanctuary? The one on the boat? He does kind of look like that. Like, I mean, he's a knight though, so that's expected, right? Does the game just end if you do? I can't remember what you get. You get some bonus stuff. And some experience. You do get an item, but I don't think it's like super overpowered. And it takes a long time. But there's an achievement as well. Strangely, once you learn the pattern, it's not actually that hard, it's just tedious. Wait, Devil May Cry has a supposed to lose fight early on, but if you win, the game just has a small text scroll and cuts to credits. That's got to be a bad ending, right? Congratulations, you beat this boss. Here's a bad ending. Oh, that delay shockwave. No! Oh, I thought that was going to be like an actual boss. I'm not done yet. The king. I must find the king. Get purified, idiot. Technically a good ending, but it's a goof. Okay. The giant knight thrusts his greatsword into the ground, creating a shockwave that launches surrounding enemies into the air. Royal Agus, elite, tasked with protecting the king, defended the castle during the reign, only to be betrayed by one of his peers, consumed by madness. more stuff in this room. So what's on the gaming plan today, Warmaster? Room's shut. Oh, it's a wall thing I can't get through there. Oh! Check out the new patch of Baldur's Gate 3. That's one that I'm really torn with that because I want to play, but I want a story through in one go without pre-story spoilers, you know? Oh, I was supposed to read that. King's Note 1. Bad Panz. I've read all of them so far. Where's King's... Oh, we're running out of ones to get. That's Kings of the First Day, not King's Note 1. There it is. At long last, the abominable lord of blighted lands has been purified. I am beside myself with rapt relief. The blighted have tormented us for many long years, but now I control them. Tied as my hands were, I had no choice but to afflict my subjects to deal with those damnable wretches. Now their power is in my hands. Yeah, I'm not really too fussed about the D&D edition one, but it's mainly story for me. Now, where was this new spirit that we just got? He's only a dude. Well, still a dude. I'm really hoping that would have been Umbral Knight. Could that be the throne room ahead? Spoilers, my man. The King of Land's End. Knight Captain Julius. Yeah, this is a proper boss. He's got a... I should have known that. He's got a different stagger bar meter. Oh! Hey, so wizard, how you doing? When's he gonna change the? What was that? I mean, he added something into the attack pattern, but it didn't really do much extra. And then all of a sudden there was that. Yeah, there's the first new edition. And then that one. And then the you're too far away and it'll punish you for being at range. Sucker for good. The piano has been amazing throughout the game. Okay. Step away from the edge. Do it, man. Oh. Hey, Gru. I wouldn't say far too chill in the boss fight. I'd say a little under. But definitely a step up from normal leveling music. Hyperbeam felt cheap. Real cheap. Restart. Alright, Nat Captain Duda. Let's go. Wow. Yeah, a bit slow to get there, but once he warms up. Be rough. Cloning hard drives. Not as bad as it used to be, I guess, but still. Not fun. I definitely have to be high health going into the final phase. And I don't think it's about having heals in the final phase, because I think it's just going to be a rush. Need to stay close so I can always get behind the hyper beam. Oh, he missed with the ulti. The petrified idiot. I'm sorry. I've only added to your burdens. As the kingdom approached oblivion, its subjects became deathless abominations. My brethren fought on until madness consumed them, or the rain did. I managed to stave off the corruption of my mind and found myself in the throne room. My blade held over the king I was meant to protect. He shook and blubbered in exasperation. The priestess and knights who gave their lives to the kingdom were disposable. This was where the king's obsession with immortality had led us. The king's words, dripping with greed, were the palpable lament of his corrupt heart. It was plain to me as the blood pumping in that heart also flowed through my veins. I too had not fought to protect the kingdom or its people, but my own interests. I only wished for him to admit he had wronged to abandon me. Sure enough, as I held my sword over him, his eyes were fixed only on me. I had been waiting for this, waiting for our eyes to meet for the very first time. Knight Captain Julius unleashes a series of jabbing attacks with a lance that allows for maximum reach. Advancing thrusts can be made by using this skill while moving sideways. The king's bastard son, after enduring a hard life, he rose through the knightly ranks to get back at his father. His tenacity is unparalleled. After dodging, Knight Captain Julius grabs hold of you and charges forward, allowing a burst of momentum. Oh, nice. Moving from an HDD to an SSD. Well, it's better than going the other way. Piercing Spectral Lance. While dash attacking X, the charging stride Knight Captain Julius lance can break through pustulant walls. Yes! The longer the dash, the more magic builds up within the spear. Not only the increased attack range and power, but also powers through thicker pustulant walls. Oh wow, that looks cool. A knight driven from the castle. How much hatred must one be consumed by to kill one's own kin? Achievement unlocked, Blight Throne. Oh. Achievement unlocked, Impaling Lily. That's a bit